In today's session, we are going to see how to use for loops in Python. So, conditional statements and looping statements are nothing but two fundamentals of any programming language. So, here we are going to study how to use for loop for specifically Python programming language. So, basically, why do we require loops? Loops are required so that if you want, you can implement the same statement or you can run the same statement multiple number of times instead of writing it again and again. You can use the loop. So, for example, if you want to perform any repetitive task, for example, writing numbers from 1 to 100, then instead of writing print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4, so on up to print 100, you can use the concept of loop. There are various types of loops that you can use in not only Python but in other programming languages as well. Today, we are specifically going to talk about something called as a for loop in Python. So in this case, as you can see, I have used for. For is a looping construct which executes till a certain statement or till the condition that you have given is satisfied. So here we have written for I in Unikaksha. So Unikaksha is nothing but a kind of string that I'm having print I. So what this is going to do? At start, the value of I is 0. So it will print the first or you can say the 0th position letter in the given data. So in a given string, the letter which is present at the 0th position is U. That's why U will be printed first. The value of counter would increment it. The I stands for the counter. So counter value will be incremented. Then it will print the next letter, that is N. Then I, K, and so on. It is going to print one letter each. Once it will reach to this final A, now there is no more letter that we are supposed to print at the end. And that's why over here the printing would stop. So this is basically how we can use the for loop in order to print the letters of the same word or in order to print the letters of the string. So I just hope this part is very clear to you. Any other example of using for loop? So in this case, suppose if I use for I in Unikaksha, this is a kind of similar example. Make sure that whenever you are writing the statements, that has to be executed when the loop is, when the limiting condition of the loop is true, that time you have to write that statement inside the loop. And in order to define this, we use colon, which acts as an indentation. What do we mean by indentation? That means if this loop is true, if this condition is true, you have to implement the statement. So that statement should be written within the loop. So for I in Unikaksha, we are writing print I and then we are writing end and the space. So it indicates that the new statement will not be written on a new line. In fact, it will be simply added in the existing line only. So this is basically what that end is equal to codes will make a change. Now this particular code will print a structure like this. Let me just show the output. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star up to 10 stars, because over here I have given the range as 10. Now range is the function that if you are using it for a singular purpose. For example, if you are simply writing one number, say 10, then in this case the value it is going to access is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So in total the values are 10, but it starts printing the value from 0 or it starts accepting the values from 0. So from 0, the 10th element is 9 and that's why 0 to 9 is nothing but what's the output of range 10. So here we are writing for I in range 10, that means in between 0 to 9. For j in range I, so we need two loops. Why two loops? Because we need one loop in order to increment these counts of the stars, and we need another loop so that we can monitor the number of stars within a same within the same row. So this basically thing that you can see is 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. So every star is printed on some next line. So that defines the first or outer loop, that is I. And here we are displaying 1 star, then we are displaying second, then we are displaying third. So in order to make a counter of the stars on the rows, we are using the another loop that is nothing but j. So loop I we are using for incrementing the row, and loop j we are using for incrementing the value of the star in that particular row. So here we are writing for I in a range 10, for j in a range of I. That means j will run till the I is running. So in first case, the value of I is going to be 0. The value of j is going to be 0. So it is going to print just a single statement or a single star. In next iteration, the value of I will become 1. The value of j would start from 0. So it is printing the 0th star and j can go till I. So that's the reason it is going to print one more star. then the value of j will become 2, but 2 is not in a range of I. That's why you're going to get terminated out of your jth loop. The value of I would now be incremented to 2. If the value of I is 2, the value of j will again start from 0, so it will print a 0 star. Then the value of j will be incremented, so it will print 1 star. Then the value of j will be incremented to 2. Yes, 2 is also still satisfying the condition because you are writing j in a range of I. So 2 definitely satisfies this condition. That's why you are printing this third star as well. So till here all these 10 stars are printed, the loop would go on continue in this way. So it is going to print the stars when the condition is satisfied. That's why you can see 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars like this. And then this new line indicates that if if you just can notice, after 1 star there is a line that we are dropping. Then we are drawing the next stars on the next line. Again, we are keeping one vacant line. So in order to give that vacant line, we are using this new line character. So this is basically how you can use for loop in order to solve simple questions. Yes, you can solve a lot of complicated questions using for loop as well, that we are going to see in our next session. Thank you for watching this video on for loop using Python. See ya soon in the next session. Bye bye.